This video is about how to polish your drawing at the final stage, but first, dear diary, for months, these two idiots have held my videos back, but no longer. I have studied their every move, and I will prey upon their weakness, for it was not by accident that I conditioned their simple minds to get used to seeing the mannequins in the corner. So today, at 1500 hours, Gryffindor Standard Time, my plan will be enacted, which will result in their inevitable demise. Just one final detail to cement my plan in Operation Stealth Puma will be complete. Here's a time lapse of what we will be covering just to give you a simple overview. If you aren't a loser and have been following along with the first two parts of this drawing series, you will know that we have now set the stage for refining the drawing. We kept the drawing simple to work out the proportional issues, so now we can put darker shading down to really make the drawing stand out. However, even though we are shading and modeling our drawing, we should still be observing the entire piece as we do this. The reason for this is very simple, my dear mongrels. It will force us to understand what we are looking at in relation to the entire work as opposed to drawing everything piecemeal, which means separate. A drawing shows the artist's understanding of what he or she is looking at, so if you better understand the large shapes down to the medium and small shapes, it will show in your work. I will release the raw footage of this video in 4K for those of you who wish for a more in-depth viewing of the process. Just to clarify terminology, when I say modeling form, that simply means shading. Essentially, modeling is developing the drawing inside the contour lines, even though it can be used to describe developing the actual contours. Form is the actual structure of what we are drawing. So for example, when I say I am developing the form of the knee, or turning the form of the knee, or making the form pop in the knee, that simply means I am modeling the structure of the knee with shading. Now, if you're not finding value in this video, feel free to unsubscribe, and don't forget to downvote. Here, let me show you how. So we just drag our little cursor down here and click, unsubscribe, and downvote. It's as simple as that. And if you haven't subscribed already, don't. It doesn't help my channel grow or make my videos more accessible. Now, back to the drawing. There are many different ways to shade in art, but what I want you to focus on is studying the form with whatever technique you use. If you are first starting, I recommend the hatching technique, which is drawing lines, oftentimes slanted in the same direction to darken an area. In this drawing, I use a combination of hatching and cross-hatching. I want you to pay attention to the direction I shade. I will often blanket shade an area in one hatching direction if I need to bring the entire light value down, or, more simply put, make it darker. I like to do a combination of shading in the direction of the form and across the form in curved hatches to make it turn. It is important to note that this is a very tricky way of shading to learn if you are first starting. For me, it took some years to get used to this because this type of shading requires a deep understanding of what you are drawing and a strong sense of how to key your light values up. That is why I recommend just a normal hatching technique, because this will free your mind up to focus on making solid light and shadow shapes. What do I mean when I say to key the light values of your drawing? It simply means to organize the different light values on your figure. To do this, squint down so you see the basic flow of light. Note the darkest dark and the lightest light on the figure. In this drawing, for example, the darkest dark is the hair and the lightest light is on the upper chest and parts of the face. In pencil, you cannot get as dark as you can in reality, so the values are compressed, which means you must settle for lighter darks and not so light highlights. In a drawing such as this, I do not go very dark, as you will see, but I can still achieve a believable light effect by properly relating the values to one another. This is why I said earlier that we should always be looking at the entire drawing as we detail, because detailing in this case means shading, which will influence the light effect. So essentially, when we shade, we develop the anatomy and create a sense of light that makes the drawing pop off the page. Again, the artist's understanding of the subject will be reflected very much at this stage. My friends, being a skilled artist takes hard work, discipline, and an iron will to survive. You must be craftier than your opponents. It is my wish that you learn from me on this channel and study my every move, for I have been honed into a most perfect specimen of strategy and perfection. My mind is cunning and my arms are strong. Most likely did calf raises this morning, and I even stretched afterwards. My hair is glorious and my pants have creases. And unlike other channels, I will not make lofty promises I cannot fulfill, but if you watch my videos, I will solve all of your life problems without any effort on your part whatsoever. So be at peace. I will care for you. My genius is once again prompting me to reiterate the importance of working the drawing up evenly. Like I so eloquently stated before, every mark you put down on the drawing will affect how you perceive the other areas of the same drawing. Don't be a butthole and shade the hell out of a single area without paying any attention to how it is affecting the rest of the work. It will cause the drawing to be disconnected and lose its sense of light, in addition to having proportional mistakes. If you take your time and slowly build the work up evenly all over the drawing, you will notice small things that need to change, which will result in an even more accurate drawing. It will also help build the habit of seeing the entire shape. Remember, simpletons, everyone has a difficult time seeing the entire shape as they detail. It is my self-appointed task to assist you in developing the right habits to form your cerebral cortex into a vicious powerhouse of being able to see the larger shapes as you draw, thus making you a better artist and pulling your ass one step closer to my unquestionable greatness. As I wrap up the drawing, I am striving to not only copy the subtle anatomy, but to truly understand it. My peasants, it is important to learn how to draw the subtle angles and shapes at this stage. At first, you will find that your angles are always slightly exaggerated and perhaps too dark, while your shadows are too light. Over time, you will become more accurate, and if the foundational stage of the larger shape is correct, you will find that your drawing will pop off the freaking page. And now for the highly educational and masterfully executed conclusion to the 3-part series I now know could have been easily combined into one part that I could have called How to Draw a Human. I do hope this series has been helpful to you, and please let me know any of your questions and thoughts in the comments below. I love you.
Alright, let's go in the truck. 2x4 with me. As well, as good as it was. Alright, easy does it. 3. 1, 2, and 3. Yep.
Seems about right.